So it's like the thing that's taking the space is electronic music. And electronic music is taking so many different shapes. Like drum and bass is back, big time.
Drum and bass is back.
Like what
Yeah.
is back? It's like legit is back. Like, I don't know, like Chase and Status are back. It's
Legend.
like, oh my God. It's just like reminding me of
there's
like
be some drum and bass fans watching this thinking, oh, it's back, is it? It never left.
Welcome to Audius's Behind the Beats, episode 11. In each episode, we'll be talking to musicians and DJs from all walks of life about their experiences in the music industry. What is up, guys? How are you?
Very good.
Hi.
How we doing?
Good.
So for context, we have the amazing duo here, JADED, and we have Bhaskar. So it's like a large group chat here we have today. And before we get started, I just want to say a massive congratulations to you all on the release of your latest record, When I See It, featuring the V.I.C, released on Controversia Records. I just love the deep driving bass lines and the sparkling synths on the record. So I guess the best place to start is because we're all here today. I'd love to hear more about the latest record and how you all met each other.
Well, the first place we met each other was at mine, which I actually funnily moved out of today. So like, do you remember the studio, Bhaskar? It's no longer. I mean, I can move my phone, I can move my laptop and show you guys, but
show them where the magic used to happen and where it didn't.
This used to be the studio. Now it's just a empty place. Like, remember there was a studio
That's
here.
Damn, I miss it though.
Sad. It's sad, but like this is where it all started. We was at mine in my living room. It was a nice day actually, not too cold, and Bhaskar just showed up, and we just jammed out. We wanted to make something cosmic. I think that was the word that was getting blown around that day, and I think we might have achieved that.
I think we definitely.
Yeah, like me and Jaded, we spoke on the internet like a few years before that, but never thought about doing a track together. And then like I had a gig in London, so and a day off before the gig, so I just contacted them and it worked out. So yeah, that's how it all started.
When Big Baz is in town, you make time for him.
Yeah.
Well, I just absolutely love the record. It's as you said, it's cosmic. It's like this cosmic banger. How's it been like playing it out live and getting the crowd's reaction?
They love it.
Yeah, it's been crazy. Like, actually, I've been playing it for like 4 or 5 months already before the release, and I think it's been my intro for the last like 2-3 months. I actually just opened my Tomorrowland sets with it in Belgium and Brazil. So yeah, it's been great. Like it's, as I was telling Jaded, like it's probably the track that represents best my music right now. So I'm really pushing it and, you know, making the moment I play it really special.
And so when you guys were producing the track, like what came first? Was it the beat, the bass line? I'm just curious, what was the process like?
I think the idea was that we wanted to make something that was like the combination of both of our sounds together. We were like, what would this, because he at the time had the track Tina, which was an absolute smash. And we had Welcome to the People that people knew of. So we were like, what would happen if Welcome to the People and Tina came together? And then that was like the drums were like, we wanted to be disco-y. I remember Bhaskar had an idea initially, was like a little idea, and he had this effect, that little build-up sound and like some drums, and then we kind of took the skeletons of that, added our elements to it, and then
that's how you were talking about.
At some point,
as soon as that was introduced, we knew all of a sudden there was something tasty brewing.
He played that tune, and like within like 2 seconds of hearing that effect, me and Teo just looked at each other like,
we're in.
I think this is it, because we were like going back and forth playing stuff, and nothing was hitting. And we don't really like to like lie to people and be like, yeah, I love it, man, I love it. Like not on that vibe. So we're just like,
like I was getting nervous, you know, because I showed them like 3 or 4 tracks and nothing was working. And then like just this small sweep with a little drum loop just worked out.
Yeah.
And then we're like, that's the sound.
No,
And then
hey, but the other ideas were good. It was just sometimes it's that I don't know. We're of a certain level where it's like everything's good, but what is the next level up?
yeah, but
Yeah.
that effect sound was literally the cosmic sound. We're like, this sounds cosmic.
Yeah.
It sounds like a spaceship lifting off Mars. Like, this is the thing.
It got
So
built around
it was
that, basically. Yeah.
it was it built around that.
Space.
And then I think we added the bass. To be honest, the vocal was the last thing that came. He didn't have a vocal for ages. Do you remember? Like the vocal, he was like, guys, I think I got another vocal, like the Tina vocal. We were like,
Yeah.
But we were thinking, do we do like a soulful vocal like we usually do? And then we were like, actually, this is the perfect time to bring that vocal to life.
Yeah, like the vocal just put it all together, you know, the idea of having this Tina identity with all the sounds from Jaded, and it just we just matched it together. Like it wasn't a hard work, you know, things just flowed.
Honestly, it seemed too easy. It was almost
Yeah.
I find like the best tracks, you know, like ones that just flow, and it just seems like you guys with this collaboration, it was just it was meant to be, right? Like
I'd say
just bringing the best
90% of ideas, you know, straight away within the first 20 minutes if you've kind of got something going. If you are really going for something hours on end, it's like maybe you should not do that.
Yeah.
Just go home.
You're all producers. What programs? So are you all using the same program? What's the story?
No.
Thanks God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, no, yeah, you use Logic as well.
You use Logic, of course. Yeah, you do. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You do use Logic. Yeah, you do. Yeah, we do all use Logic. Nice.
Yeah,
it
it seems
nice.
to be like not many people are like that these days. So it was nice to be able to, because once someone's working on Ableton or whatever, even though we work on all these things, we know how they operate, but it's a little bit, it's more of a task when you've got people on other things. So yeah, Logic boys over here.
Logic.
Yeah, and I learned a lot with them, you know, like these two are beasts, and like I was just watching and getting like new knowledge from it. So it was great to work in the same doll, you know.
Appreciate it.
You kept
I just
sending
love
us
how
like,
humble you are, because you're all like beasts. Like you are absolute pros, and you're just, because I find the people at the top of their game, they're just so humble. Like look at you three, you're like just like, yeah, I'm like learning every day. Like that's just so awesome to hear that, you know.
That's the beauty of collaborating. To be fair, you do pick up things whether you realize it or not.
yeah, that's the best part. It's like, how does this person that I've admired for so long does this thing? And then you see it, you're like, oh, okay, they do it slightly differently. They have, because it's an art form, really. Everyone has their own way of doing it. So it's just great seeing everyone has their own tricks and routines. It's amazing. Yeah.
Totally. So now I'd love to bring this up, the origin story of all of you, just like really briefly. How did you first get into music? What do you have that defining moment? When did you teach yourself, you know, music or becoming a producer? You each want to share that with audience here.
Go on, Bhaskar. Start us off.
Yeah, I want to know who's the.
So yeah, my parents are also DJs, so it was kind of natural. They never pushed me and my brother. We just choose by ourselves. They still pushed it to like finish school and, you know, do everything right, because like in their heads, like they didn't want us to struggle as they did back in the 2000s, you know, like music was something that was just starting in Brazil, like electronic music, and they just saw that we had talent when in like back 2006 2007 when we were like 17, and then they really started pushing us, you know, and you know, trying to give us more opportunities and using their networks to help us out. But it was basically our decision. Like we never had any pressure from them, and just like felt like a passion since day one. And you know, that was the thing. Like it's totally different when you have parents that do the same job, and you know that you have the pressure of being the next them. In our case, it was just like something that, even though our parents, like even if our parents weren't DJs, we will still decide that, you know. There was this moment that I stopped playing for a couple of years, and music just called me back all the time, you know. I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a really natural path. And yeah, my story began when I was a teenager at the age of 12. and I had many different projects, but I consider like this phase I'm living started in 2016 when I started my solo project as Bhaskar, and this was like probably my best and more mature phase. So I feel like the last years have been the ones I'm being deeper into music and giving more of myself to it. You know?
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are your parents still DJ?
Yeah, they are.
Oh no.
My mom still plays psytrance, and that's it. You know, she doesn't change.
Oh shit.
My father now he's into like techno, tech house. So yeah, they're legends here in Brazil. You know, they're doing that for like 25 years already. So yeah, it's been a journey.
Absolute legends, man.
Legendary.
Can't wait to meet them in Brazil.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna meet them for sure at Universal.
It's gonna be a big one.
Wait.
We actually met. We all had individual projects going on at the time, but we actually met in a studio in West London, which was It was what was it? It was like a World War II bunker that they turned into a studio. It was like legit,
like an underground bunker. Yeah,
it was a very
with doors that go open up like that.
It would be like, it would literally like say bunker B, 51 persons. It was like we're actually sitting on some serious history here, and like all we were doing is like making techno and smoking in the tunnels, like. So yeah, but yeah, that's where we met. We were doing different things. I was DJing. He was in a world band as well, so he was doing his own thing. But yeah, we actually met in the studio complex, working on different projects. But we just kept on coming together and making music, and it just kind of became like all the music we were making was together, so it was like it would make sense for us to start something, and that's how Jaded came about.
We kept bringing each other in on different projects. You know what I mean? Like I was doing like a world music project, and I was like touring, and like I was like a drummer percussionist in like this world music band, and he was like, I think he was at that time he was like releasing tunes on Defected, so this was like early doors. This was like early Defected, and so but then he would like sample me and my like band to put over his tunes, and then I'll go over there and be like, give me your sounds and let me put these kick drums under these like ethnic beats, and like all of a sudden we were just like constantly in the studio together working, making tunes. Then we start producing like for other people, we're making like pop tunes for other people, and in the evening we're making like house and techno, and then towards the end we're like, why don't we just start a group and just keep doing this thing we love instead of making music for other people.
And the funny thing is, when we started it, then we were already like, there was no like, we were paying all the rent that would go into a flat, we were putting into our studios, so we had to sleep in the studios basically. And when
we lived in the studio.
We literally lived underground in these tunnels for years, and just it's only now thinking about it of how wild that was. But yeah, no, it was the yeah, man, there was nothing like when we first started doing the project and we started getting tunes out to labels, and all of a sudden we're getting things signed and whatnot. Like we would all like meet in the middle of, because like there are all these like windy roads to all the different studio blocks. So like we'd all like wake up in the morning and see emails from America saying that these labels wanted our music, and like we'd run in the hallways going, "Did you see the email? Did you see the email?" Still half asleep and whatnot. So yeah, it was a good place to start.
We all had day jobs as well, so we'll be working. We'll be working 9 to 5, and then after that, we'll just come to the studio. It's just like that.
That's so inspirational. My gosh. And like in like this World War II bunker, like what? That is just sick.
I remember we didn't even have AC. We didn't have AC until like maybe the 5th or 6th year. So we're just like breathing in this old World War II air.
My goodness. Do you think, this is my next question for all of you, your local music scene, like, you know, whether it's in London or Brazil, like how much like embedded influence did it have on your own creations?
I mean,
in London, where we were, in the studio that we were, was one of the studios that like dubstep was actually like created.
Yeah.
So like, we had like dubstep legends like Casper, like there, and we had like, I don't know, Skrillex, early doors Skrillex would come through. So it was a very bass heavy, it was like a drum and bass, breaks, and like dubstep kind of studio. So everyone was just up all night making bass.
There was
heavy
a lot of bass
sounds
going around, that's for sure.
Bass, like it was dark, things were cold, it was very like industrial. We were in an industrial state underground, so it was all like really, and then we'll be going to clubs like Fabric or Cable, which is now closed,
Or the
like places
Yes.
like that. Just like, yeah, exactly. So it definitely influences. Like our sound has this like gritty, kind of grimy.
London is, yeah, it's a melting pot. There's so many different cultures, different musical things to take and whatnot. So it's like there's a lot of Caribbean influence around there as well. So it's like that comes through in our music as well.
Yeah, there's a lot
I
of that.
mean, in a way, a lot of people, in a way, what works with us and Bhaskar is we've got this kind of worldly sound, which seems to kind of go down well in Brazil, South America, things like that. So it's like, on the one hand, we've got all this gritty sound, but we actually created this weird worldly sound in the bunker as well. So it's like all sorts of things going on.
Yeah. And then you're collaborating with Bhaskar. And so how about you, Bhaskar, like your local music scene growing up and influences into your own music? How much did that impact you?
Yeah, so I think like Brazil has a really unique personality when we're speaking about electronic music. You know, we can even see that back in 2016 when like my brother and other DJs were playing a specific kind of music that we didn't have a name for it, so we named it Brazilian bass. You know, because it was really unique. We couldn't really classify anywhere else. So I think like, yeah, we have this personal taste that for a long time it only worked in Brazil. It wasn't really going abroad. But I saw like in the last 2-3 years, our music is really becoming international, and it's not really attached to the Brazilian crowd anymore. And that's a good thing, you know, because like electronic music doesn't have barriers. Like we can just play it anywhere in the world and, you know, be successful with a record. So why were we doing music only for the Brazilian crowds and the Brazilian taste? And it's good because like even when the Brazilian people see us playing our tracks abroad and see the reaction going well, they kind of open their minds for like new sonorities and, you know, thinking how the foreign people think. So yeah, it's been a great phase for Brazil right now. And honestly, I think like electronic music is becoming kind of deeper now in Brazil. So it's kind of splitting the crowds, you know, like most of like Brazilians that don't really get electronic music, they're going into like pop, funk, and other stuff. And like the real electronic crowd are staying like true to it and going only to electronic events, you know. So there's being this division right now in Brazil. But yeah, like to be honest, I feel a lot more comfortable now, you know, because like it's kind of hard when you need to play to crowds that they're really mixed and they want to listen to a funk DJ and a EDM DJ and a house DJ in the same party, you know. So now it's being more divided, and you know, I can just be true to myself and play whatever I want. You know, it's easier.
Yeah, for sure. It's very liberating. And what you said earlier, you brought up like a poignant point, which was music's universal. Like, and the awesome thing about electronic music is you can dissolve barriers and boundaries. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. If it's a good song, you know, and you feel something like on a subatomic level, then you've moved somebody, whether it's like physically moving somebody on the dance floor or emotionally, you know. And I feel like that track that you guys did like kind of hits all those marks, and I just love it so much. And is there one particular show that just like stands out to you? It could be in general or when you played that particular record.
For us, it was Splash House. Splash House.
Splash House, it was like the song of the day from what I remember.
Yeah, it was like Palm Springs, like 45 degrees. My head was melting. It was just like, what's 45 degrees in America? It's like 120 degrees, 120 Fahrenheit. It was a lot, and just like crowds going crazy, pool party. We just played that record, and it's just blew up, honestly. And I mean, I know we're just about to go on a series, like a tour on an Australian or New Zealand tour. So we're gonna play at every show, and we'll be able to report back more. But Bhaskar's been playing there a lot more, and he's been on the road a lot more recently. So I'm sure he has more.
Yeah, like for me, it's been like a true like key point of my sets every time, you know, like especially because it's like probably it is for sure my most important track of the year. And you know, after Tina, there was a lot of pressure, like what would be my next step. And yeah, this track has just been marking all my sets. And as I said, like I've been opening most of my sets in the last 3 months, So like basically the biggest memories I have from it are for sure Tomorrowland, Belgium, Brazil, and I played Brooklyn Mirage this summer now, and
Yeah.
the track just went over, you know. So yeah, it was a sick moment.
I know it when I see it. Spirit, energy, vibe. I know it when I see it. Religious minds through the centuries have referred to it as spirit. Men of science say all things are guided by the flow of energy. In the club and on the street, we talk about having that perfect vibe. Now we may all have different names for it, but I tell you, I know it when I see it. And right now, I see it. Spirit, energy, vibe. I know it when I see it. Spirit, energy, vibe. I know it when I Religious minds through the centuries have referred to it as spirit. Men of science say all things are guided by the flow of energy. In the club and on the street, we talk about having that perfect vibe. Now we may all have different names for it, but I tell you, I know it when I see it. Now we may all have different names for it, but I tell you, I know it when I see it. different names for it, but I tell you, I know it when I see it.
That song is just such a banger. Like I just love the bass line and the vibes.
Shout out to the Vic as well. He smashed it with the vocal. He's
Vic's vocals are insane.
It really complements the track. So yeah, thanks for coming on the show and sharing that with us. So we're going to move on now. Jaded, you guys also recently released on Diplo's Higher Ground. You've had top club charts like Welcome to the People, and you've achieved like so many things like top 10 slots, as well as, you know, support from high profile DJs. And my question for you is, what was it like releasing a record on Diplo's label?
I mean, it's the reaction we've been getting from the tunes that we've released with him, in particular, Welcome to the People, to be fair. Yeah, they've all been, I don't know what it is that they're doing over there, but it's all working. It's all working really well over there.
It just transcends the normal channels of music. I don't know. It just goes everywhere. They just get it everywhere. Everyone knows. Like somehow they have this reach that the way they can get a song to be played by like a deep techno DJ and by a house DJ. So like our music gets played by everyone now, which is
Welcome
we didn't have that
people was across the board. We even had people like Solomon going from like a mad techno set to all of a sudden just bringing in these trumpets, and same with Michael Beebe. It was all like all these DJs from across the board are all like trying to find a way to bring it into their set. It was kind of crazy. But we just did a show with Higher Ground. It was the first show we've done with them in a long while, and where was it? Was it Seattle? Seattle, yeah.
Seattle, yeah.
Yeah, we were chilling with Diplo. He's an absolute legend. Yeah, he's
They called us the London Twins.
Yeah, the London Twins. I never realized we looked so similar. We were both wearing these shirts that were just like crossed all over crazy patterns and whatnot. So it's like we actually were we were dressed in sync, so we were kind of looking like we were twinning that day, weren't we?
You usually twin when you would do your shows, wear the same things?
Not intentionally, but it was just like we both. You know what's weird? When you start spending time with someone enough, you start like mirroring them a lot. You just start doing. Do you know what I mean? Like you ever notice that? Like you hang around with, it could be like your girlfriend, your boyfriend. You just start picking up little things. Do you know what I mean? I just called you my boyfriend.
That's when you know you guys are really in sync.
No, he's my. I do have a wife. He is my thing on the side.
That's the best musical relationships, hey, and so I can tell there's family vibes here. So how about you, Bhaskar? Speaking of family, Alok is your brother, right? And so so much talent, and your parents, oh my goodness, in the family. So you know, I don't even know where to start with you, but you've had incredible hits like such as Fuego with over 150 million streams across all streaming platforms. You've worked with Brazilian pop star Anitta, amongst many other incredible achievements.
My favorite, Anitta.
I guess
I love Anitta.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. My question for you is, do you have a different workflow when you're like collaborating with other artists and or producing for pop stars versus, you know, doing your own records?
Yeah, so I had this phase in my career, I think it was like from 2016, 17 until 19, which I was really focused on doing like big stuff and going really pop. I don't know, I was kind of influenced by what was happening in the market, you know, like electronic music was really going mainstream in Brazil. We had like places to play with bands and, you know, pop artists, so it was kind of a natural process. But now I just feel like I'm going a lot deeper, you know. I'm just feeling more comfortable to work to the electronic crowd, you know, thinking about like more focused on this market, you know. And I don't know, it's been a while since I did anything like really pop, but it was good to have this phase doing this kind of things like remixes and collaborating with pop artists, because it really brought me experience, you know, when I have to do something kind of on demand or on pressure, you know. Jay didn't know that well, you know, they already worked for other artists as well. And it's a different process. It's like you really focus as like a job, you know. It's not really only an
There's no
artistic, natural
artistry
thing.
behind
You
it.
do it
So, yeah.
yeah, you do it thinking about the numbers and how will people accept that, and thinking about like, okay, will people get this junction of like me and, you know, with pop artists? So it's a different process, you know. And to be honest, I feel like good doing like deep stuff, just being myself right now. But of course, like there will be a point, like there I will need to collaborate with like different genres and things like that. And as I said, it's just good that I have some experience from the past, and
Yeah.
we'll just try to do it on my new identity, you know.
For sure. Like out of all the tracks that you've ever made, Bhaskar, like what's your favorite? Like what was the most enjoyable song that you made?
You know, like when people ask me that, like, what's your favorite song? I usually say my last one, you know, because it's usually the one I'm more excited about, and I just finished it, and I haven't played it for years, so I'm not tired of it yet. But yeah, there were a few that like really marked me. Like one was for sure Tina, because Tina was like really organic, like just happened in a session, and you know, we just felt like we did something really unique. And like we honestly didn't even know who to send that, you know, like what label will like this song, and you know, but it just felt unique, so it really marked me, Mecca, and Lucas. And another track that really marked my career was Infinity with Dub Dogs, because like this track, I was already friends with Dub Dogs for a long time, and this track was the first time we collaborated doing a house track together, because we used to have psytrance projects. And like Infinity just was also built like really quickly in like one session, and we released it in 2016, but nothing happened. We just did it like as a bootleg. And then in 2020, Spinning Records just contacted us to do like an official remix, and just took over, you know. Now it has like 150 million plays already on Spotify. So yeah, it was a track that really showed me that like music is, you know, a temporal. It's just there's no like you cannot precisely know if it's going to work on the day you release it or 5 years later, you know.
You know,
So that's the crazy
to add to everything he's been saying there. In a way, we've had quite similar different careers, but similar trajectories in the sense like we were doing a few pop things, signing some major label deals, going through all of that. And it's like we've had to get away from that to start kind of making more. I mean, if he's saying deep, I'll say deep music as well. Not necessarily going with the usual pop form or structure. And do you know what I mean? That's when you just kind of let the music go. There's no formula to it really. It's just when something feels right, it feels right. You can try and be as formulaic as possible. Say with pop music, there's a lot of that. But we found with a lot of our most popular tunes, it's been the ones where it's just you kind of let it go and not think about the structure too much, and just let the vibes be, and the people decide. And the people have been deciding. So yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that. Actually, speaking of like people deciding, like we're also at Audience like really curious about, you know, the business side of things. So like, you know, how do your analytics, you know, when looking at, you know, streaming and all that inform like I'm going to tour here, or this is the sentiment of my fans?
Sometimes it's pretty hard to get the pressure, you know, because like when you have a big hit, always there's going to be pressure in your next song and how it's going to perform, you know. But
Yeah.
now like I'm really thinking about building a story and having something to tell in the next years, you know, like having a solid profile, and not thinking about like only doing one thing right. So like even when the song doesn't do that well now, if it's a song I'm happy about it, I'm happy, you know. I'm not going to be like frustrated anymore. So it's a thing like sometimes it's hard to deal with managers and, you know, labels, but I just think like in the end the artist needs to think about himself and what he wants to build to his crowd, his fans, you know. So I'm feeling kind of light right now about like pressure of numbers and stuff like that. You know, of course, we always want to perform well, but I just like when it doesn't, it's just cool. You know, I just happy doing what I'm doing. You know.
But yeah,
I love that. I'm getting like it's just the way kind of vibe Mandalorian, like the force is with me. Like I will be authentic. I love that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. How about you, Teo?
Don't get me wrong. It sometimes trying to do everything based on the analytics and whatnot. From what I hear, what he's saying, you don't get caught in the trap of dealing with all of that. It has to be true to your musical journey, I guess. But yeah, having said that, do you know what I mean? It does help to know that, like, do you know what I mean? We released some music, say, with some labels in Australia, and you know, directly off the back of the response we get from, say, Spotify. Really, we're doing a whole tour off the back of that. So yeah, it's still definitely important to be releasing music and keeping your name out there and whatnot. But
analytics just show us how big the world is without us, like, realize. They just show like it's a big old world, and there could be someone in Mexico, Brazil, or Australia, or Singapore caring about us, which we don't usually think about that stuff, especially if you're from London. You think everything is here.
Also, you're a house music producer. Do you know what I mean? You're like, we come from like bedroom. We're big producers now, but we originally came from our bedrooms, really. So,
yeah, World War II bunker.
Oh. But that was after. That was the progression from the bedroom, believe it.
That was the progression.
The bunker base. Yeah.
Very cool. And actually, this leads nicely into my next question for all of you. Like, what do you think, generally speaking, of the current state of the music industry? And obviously, you're all really successful, but also seeing it through the lens of, you know, an upcoming artist, right? And say they're just about to try and establish their first record and do their first lot of shows. Like, how do you see the music industry right now?
For what? For electronic music?
Yeah, for electronic music and in general, just the general health of the music industry.
There's never been a better time.
Yeah,
there's never been a better time.
It seems like there's like updated new variations of the ways we initially got into the music industry. There's new opportunities out there for all artists. You just need to jump.
Well, if you want to take it back to analytics, it's the first time, I think, in like 20 years where there hasn't been a rap song in the American like top 10 billboards. It's American rap sales are down 40% in America. And obviously country music has its place, but doesn't look like rock music's coming back as strong. So it's like the thing that's taking the space is electronic music. And electronic music is taking so many different shapes. Like drum and bass is back. Big time.
Drum and bass is back.
Like what? Yeah. It's back. It's like legit. It's back. Like, I don't know, like Chasing Status are back. It's legit. Like, oh my God. It's just like reminding me of like.
Be some drum and bass fans watching this thinking, oh, it's back, is it? It never left.
Drum and bass is like house music, of course. It never leaves. They run parallel, these two things, obviously. They never leave.
But also,
it's back in the main.
Hey, that goes back to releasing music as well. It's like, you know, there's this like all the pressure to follow up on releases and things like that. All that comes from having a bit of success, really. It's, do you know what I mean? It's just about keep on. Yeah. It's a circuit. Do you know what I mean? There's not like necessarily a shelf life. You can just come up with something that could just be the next wave for you for the next 5 years. Do you know what I mean? It could be one song, the most random song that's been sitting on your hard drive 5 years, not doing anything. That could be the one that could take you on for the next 10 years. So yeah, going back to just keep releasing music. That's the main thing.
I love it.
Yeah, like what I like the most right now is that like there's space for every genre, you know. There's nothing that is trending like far away from the rest, you know. Like if you want to become like a techno DJ, there's like a whole bunch of festivals and things going on for that, and house and dubstep and everything is going on. Like for example, I don't really follow the bass music market in the US, but then I was talking to some promoters and I just realized it's so big. I like, it's something that it's not from my circuit, but now I recognize like there's place for every music, you know. It's not about like what I think it's like the main thing. There's always space for everyone. So like if someone wants to become a DJ right now, I just say like be true to yourself, it doesn't really matter the genre you want to play. Of course, you need to focus on the market. Like, if you want to be a dubstep DJ, don't go to Brazil. Just focus in the States or whatever. So, no, of course, you need to be smart, like where you direct your music. But there's space for everyone, so just be true to yourself.
But it also feels like the worlds are kind of splitting. There's like there are the people who do the house, techno, tech house, all the different versions of house and techno, and then there are the people who do the 150 BPM techno. They're like over there. Do you know what I mean? They're like a different world.
The
you know what I mean? Like the 150 BPM techno lot.
Yeah.
That's basically, they're like a new thing that hadn't existed.
If you go
like
on
there was Gabba.
Yeah, TikTok. There's a lot of like, it's definitely normalized now for the 140 hard, really industrial warehouse. Like that seems to be like almost like the new EDM in a way, from what I can see.
Techno guys don't play that. That's its own thing. There's all these little offshoots that are coming up now that are like almost rebellious punk like, which is exciting. Really, it's very exciting.
I would play more of it, but I don't know how to fit trumpets onto that type of sound, so I'm just gonna leave it.
It's an abundance mindset, not a scarcity mindset.
Ooh,
and I just think that's brilliant. It's that, because it's like, take your pick, a scarcity mindset or an abundance. And abundance is like, there's a blue ocean of opportunities. Be authentic to yourself. This is what I'm hearing from all of you. And is that right? Yeah. And feel free. And so my next question is actually pivoting to Audius, right? So Audius, like, we see ourselves as a pioneer in the Web3 music industry, with the goal in mind, give more ownership to content creators and create a more direct fan to artist relationship. So how do you see this type of vision aligning with the future of the music industry, giving power to creators?
I mean, the power's with the creators. The power is in our hands really these days. I mean, we can be everything if we wanted to. We can be the label, the publisher, the manager, the art, everything really.
Yeah.
Like we don't need people anymore, which it's nice to have people and it helps. Don't get me wrong. Like the big labels do help. Like, but I don't know, man. There are people who putting tunes out there all on their own and getting massive hits.
Going back to the question you asked before as well. Yeah, I mean, the things that we had growing up with the industry, it's all still there. But yeah, there's never been more opportunity to be able to build everything up by yourself without anyone else and still create mad hype. I mean, to be honest with you, it seems like most labels nowadays, they're just paying for someone who's existingly got the hype. You know what I mean? So, I mean, but going back to what Audius does, it provides us with an opportunity where maybe we might be able to kind of have a little bit more, I don't know, ownership of what it is we do. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes these DSPs, they can be a little bit intense with the way they operate, but there's the good stuff and the bad stuff that comes with that. So, don't want to say it.
Yeah, it's just great, of like having an opportunity of like, because in the end, of course, like a true artist, they do it because they love it, but it's always good to have like a way of getting paid and living off music. So now I just see like there's more options of truly living by yourself with your art. You don't really need to depend on like who already does that and with the big labels. And also it's a good thing because like the labels, like the big ones, they can't release everyone. They won't be releasing the small artists. So good that they have a way to start by their own, and they don't need to be like, I remember like in the past people really expected to be signing with someone, like I just signed with this label, and now it's not a thing. It's actually bad. You feel like you're blocked.
So many dreams got ruined because they signed. So many stories of people who signed and they regretted it.
Honestly, Nari used to have hair before we signed our first deal.
I lost all of my hair because of signing. We signed. We didn't recoup, so they took my hair instead.
Oh my goodness! Well, You know, that's my audience is here to keep your hair.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Please, can you do a deal with me and get my hair back?
Yeah.
We're still having somewhere. It's sitting in a safe in some CEO's office.
Yeah, it's too
Well,
late.
I'm sure there's technology out there, you know, that can grow hair, just like we have blockchain technology for ownership of music and things like that. So thank you for sharing all your views. So my next question is what's coming up on the horizon? Obviously, I know we've been covering a lot of it, but in terms of specific tours and things like that.
What we got coming up? We got Australia tour coming up. Then
We're doing a little one.
We got New Zealand.
It's New Zealand, Australia. We're going to be out there for 3 weeks. It's going to be a big one. Then we're going to Mexico for a couple of shows out there. And then we're going to meet Bhaskar in Brazil for New Year's.
Yeah. We're getting together.
So, yeah, it's going to be
Yeah.
it's the most fitting end to the year, put it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the show that we're doing together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually heading Amsterdam tomorrow for AD. Then I'm gonna do like Dubai and a few other cities. But now, like especially from December on, it's really important to be in Brazil. Like here is really the next place for like New Year's Eve event until Carnival. So I always recommend people that want to come to Brazil come from December till February, March. You know, just the best time ever. So I'm gonna be here. I toured a lot this year already. So
Yeah,
so it's actually
to be honest, we'll come to Brazil in December, but we might never leave.
yeah. Yeah, I told them like, okay, you have a couple of shows and you're gonna love the shows, but just stay a week more at least, you know. You can't come and go. But yeah, like there's a lot of new releases coming up soon on Controversia. So
Congratulations.
I've been focusing on what I just did right now, like pushing the latest ones.
Yes.
And you know, just like taking a day after the other, you know. I'm just not wanting to plan too much further right now, you know.
Yeah, you guys are super busy. Do you have time to sleep, all of you?
It's been pretty hard weeks, to be honest. Yeah, we try our best.
Maybe less drinking on tour now. That's what we've had to get serious now. So it's like we're a lot healthier doing the tours. So I guess that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it's the healthy. I think gone are the days where DJs used to be absolute wreckheads. Maybe a few of them still are, but I feel like the healthy living and like trying to like live clean, it contributes to the sleep. And the sleep is everything. The lack of sleep destroys us. Honestly, it does. Difficult.
Well,
these to have kids as well, so I don't even know how they do it with children.
Yeah, sleep doesn't exist anymore. So sleeping with them.
Well, look, I'm excited for all of you guys. It's going to be incredible. And so, look, it's tradition on Audius. We also gift our viewers with some exclusive music alpha. And it seems that this time we've been gifted with an unreleased tune from you guys, JADED, which is a collaboration with Dombresky. So would you like to talk about it before we have a listen to it?
Giving away all our secrets.
No
one told me about this. What? Who orchestrated this?
I did. Yeah.
Your team.
Yeah. No, we were out in LA when we did the Splash House EDC shows, and we met up with them, and we got it done quite quickly. So we're happy about that one. I mean, even Bhaskar's been playing it out, and he says it's been going off as well.
Yeah,
so. But Bhaskar knows about it, so it's already got the Bhaskar seal of approval. But yeah, it should be coming out in February.
It's Sound of the Drums, and it's could be a special one. We'll see. You never know. But like, yeah, it feels good. We've been playing it out, and it's got real energy. It makes the people go crazy.
Well, on that note, should we all take a listen to it now?
Let's do it.
Go for it.
Get like the sound of the drums. Get like drums. Here I come. Like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Get like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Get like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Like the sound of the drums. Here I come. 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 Hear the sound of the drums. Here I come. Like the sound of the drums. Like the sound of the drums. Here I come.
I don't know what this feeling should be. You know I will pick up the call. It's been falling up, it's falling for weeks. The stars are pretty when the skies are falling. I don't know what this feeling should be. You know I will pick up the call. It's been falling up, it's falling for weeks. The stars are pretty when the skies are falling.
Get like the sound of the drums. Here I come. 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 Get like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Get like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Get like the sound of the drums. Here I come. Like the sound of the drums. Here I come. 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 Like the sound of the drums. Here I come.
I don't know what this feeling should be. You know I will pick up the call. It's been falling up, it's falling for weeks. The stars are pretty when the skies are falling.
Get like the sound of the drums.
Damn, I feel that energy.
I want more.
I want more. Well, that's absolute banger. Oh my goodness. We feel very honored that you shared that with us at Audius, some exclusive alpha here. So
Because
thank
that's you, Audius.
Ah, well, look, we're approaching the final segment of the show now for Behind the Beats. So what we usually do is we do a rapid fire round of questions followed by some golden nugget advice, we call it, for our audience community. So are you all ready for the rapid fire round?
Yes.
Go for it.
All right. So we'll go each one by one. So, okay, first question. Vinyl record DJing or CDJs?
Vinyl.
CDJs. To be honest, I don't really know how to play on vinyl.
I came from vinyl. I can say that. I am Mr. Vinyl, all right? I am the ultimate DJ. I know vinyl.
Yes.
I'm joking, by the way. But I do know.
Nari?
I play vinyl.
DJs.
CDJs. All right. Question number 2. Tomorrowland Festival or EDC?
Tomorrowland.
We'll say EDC.
Yeah, we haven't done Tomorrowland yet, so it's EDC for us.
I was waiting for the twin telepathy of the same answers to the questions.
Oh, we're way off right now.
Musical twin telepathy. Okay, question number 3. Martin Garrix or David Guetta?
David G all day long.
David.
Yeah, David. Like, I really admire Martin, but I don't know, like when a guy goes from all the plays, and everything he reached already, just David Guetta is a legend.
Also, David Guetta,
Mate, David,
he comes from the underground. He's literally gone across the board. He's still doing it. I mean, I love Martin Garrix as well, and he's been doing it from a young age. But I don't know, David. I think some people need to start putting some respect on David's name.
Yeah, people need to put really respect on his name. Like people don't even know, like Black Coffee and all that. Black Coffee got his break because of him, and like all of these people get, like he brings a lot of people through. Like he is Mr. Ibiza, and also he's still doing like production tutorials online. Like
It's amazing.
I'm like, bro,
He's
how are you like?
teaching me
What?
things.
He's still teaching me things. I'm like, stop, man, go chill.
Hey, these are supposed to be quick, rapid fire questions.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah. But you know what? Mad respect to David G. Okay, next question. Clubs or festivals?
Festivals.
Yeah, festivals. Like it's hard to say that, but yeah.
Yeah.
Festivals.
Yeah. Okay, next one. This is kind of semi-rapid fire round. If you could remix any song, what would it be and why?
For me, it'd have to be Prince, When Doves Cry.
Oof, yes.
Oh, yeah.
There's just too much sex appeal in there. I
Um,
need to do a mix of it at some point.
I think I would. It's a hard one, but I think maybe "Hey Boy, Hey Girl" from Chemical Brothers. Mark.
That'd be so good.
It was a good choice.
For me, I think anything by Stevie Wonder, really.
Stephen.
Guys, the music. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just want to see all this happen. Okay, next question. You're all on a desert island and you can only take 3 musical items with you besides your computer to create music. What are those 3 items? Imagine the computer's included.
Okay.
Cowbell, cowbell, cowbell.
An iPad. Or can I say iPad? No, I can't say iPad. Okay. I use the iPad like a musical instrument, probably more than the average, but what's something random? Moog Sub 37. I will take that to a desert island, wherever we are in the world. Whenever we're trying to do like a session, we're always trying to find if we can get that in whichever country we're in. So, yeah, Moog Sub 37 for me.
You guys move those signs wherever we go.
Exactly.
How about you, Bhaskar?
Yeah.
I would definitely bring my speakers, a good headphone. Like it's pretty good, like to have 2 references, and be honest, probably like a good mic, just to record some random stuff. I don't really usually do that, but I know in a desert island, like ideas would come over.
Totally. I love all these answers. Oh my goodness. Okay, finally, what advice do you have for up-and-coming artists that are starting their careers, they're looking to produce their own records, distribute them, as well as perform live?
Don't give up.
For me,
rule.
if I could say one thing, it is don't think too much about it. Don't keep on second guessing yourself. I mean, do enough of that, but when you're taking too long to pull the trigger on a decision, just go. Do you know what I mean? Don't waste too much time. Just put the music out, start building. Don't waste the time trying to perfect it. I feel like that's what I did. I spent too much time perfecting it before it went out, and I just should not have done that, because I go back to some of my beats on my hard drives from 15 years ago, and they're better than the things I'm making now, if that makes sense. So yeah,
make fail fast. Try to make mistakes fast and fail fast. The faster you fail, the quicker you get better, and the quicker you get to your goals.
100%.
Yeah, it's a very startup mentality. I love it. How about you, Bhaskar?
I would say like don't try to copy your heroes. You know, like it's a hard task, because like usually we have references, but just like if you think it's sounding too much like them, it's wrong. You know, just try to do your own thing. You know.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there's just so much gold here in this discussion. So many people are going to get so much value out of this. So thank you, all of you, for coming on the show today. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
That's a wrap for Audius Behind the Beats. We'll be dropping the social handles and links for both Bhaskar and Jaded in the comments and description. Until next time, keep vibing, keep thriving, and keep creating. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one. Behind the Beats is a production of Audius Music. This episode was hosted by me, Sam McFly, with the editing by Julia Blythe and production assistance from Sierra Graves. Our executive producers are Julian Baker and Michael Cullen.